Welcome. I'm so excited you're here with me, right? Like week 2 in February, cortisol variability and emotional swings. So we're going to lean into supporting emotional consistency through rhythm, not control. Okay. This week, yesterday, depending upon when you're watching this video, right? Inside of our focus group, we've been talking about emotional consistency last couple of weeks, right? So emotional consistency, not emotional control, not emotional flatness, not staying calm no matter what, right? Consistency, that ability to return to baseline without having to force it, without effort, without punishing yourself. So I want to start by naming something very important. Okay. If your emotions have felt unpredictable lately, that doesn't mean that you're unstable. Hear that again. If your emotions have felt unpredictable lately, doesn't mean that you are unstable. Very often what that means, right, is that your system is overstimulated. There's a big difference between emotional immaturity and a nervous system that hasn't had a chance to settle. And today is about, it's going to be about helping you understand that difference so you can stop judging yourself and start supporting what actually is happening underneath. Okay. And again, right, we're here talking about cortisol. So cortisol doesn't just affect our focus, like we talked about last week, right? It affects our emotional tolerance. Cortisol rises to help you respond to challenges, to demands, to stressors, and to engagement, right? And that rise is not the problem, right? That's adaptive. But cortisol is also meant to fall once the demand resolves. That downshift matters. Sorry about the thumbs up, right? But that downshift really matters because when cortisol stays elevated for too long or spikes erratically throughout the day, your emotions tend to swing faster and faster. Reactions come more quickly. Your tolerance shortens and your recovery takes longer. And so here's the key reframe that I want you to hear. Your emotional volatility is often reflecting physiological inconsistency, not emotional weakness. When cortisol fluctuates unpredictably, your nervous system stays on alert, and alert systems react faster and recover slower. It's not a personality flaw. That's a system trying to protect itself. It's the way we were designed. So this is why emotional consistency isn't trained through insight alone. Insight helps you understand what's happening, but rhythm helps your system feel safe enough to settle. When rhythm is missing, even the most self-aware person will feel emotionally inconsistent. So some of the more common disruptors are incredibly ordinary if we really stop to think about it, right? Irregular sleep, irregular wake-up times, inconsistent hydration, long stretches of stress without any recovery space, emotional labor that never gets to have a pause or a release. So none of these are, failures or spaces that, you're just, I'm never going to get it right. Like this is your signals. And so we're taking in data here, right? Signals. These are all signals that your system has asked to stay on for too long. And when that happens, the emotional swings increase, right? Like there's more to do, up, down, up, down. And it's not because you're reactive, but because your system never gets to settle with any kind of predictability. So if you've been wondering, like, oh, why am I more sensitive lately? This is often why. Okay. So let's talk about support that comes without pressure. Okay. We're not trying to regulate cortisol directly. We're not trying to micromanage your physiology. We're reducing unnecessary activation. That's it. Some very low demand ways to support steadiness that you can think about, consider, try, right? But I know that they are helpful and generally produce great results. Okay. Consistent hydration throughout the day. Not perfect, just more, right? Just more. Gentle transitions between tasks instead of abrupt shifts. I do it all the time, right? Like in between everything that I do a core non-physical feeling check-in from our core daily practices. We gotta have brief recovery moments after emotional engagement, especially conversations that carry weight. Predictable wind down signals in the evening, especially, right? So that your system knows when activation can release. And if you need to work on these things, right, let me know. But they're not fixes, quote unquote, right? They're signals to your body of safety. And this is something to remember, okay? Consistency doesn't come from, nor will it come from, anything that you try to force. Okay. It's going to come from predictability, and predictability tells your nervous system, I know what's going to happen next. I don't have to sit on the edge of right? I don't have to sit on the edge, and I can come back to my own baseline. So if you've been judging yourself for having these emotional fluctuations, I want you to let that go. Just let it go. Your system has been doing its best under the immense load that you put on it. Emotional steadiness will build gradually. Small physiological support matters, and relief always precedes regulation. So if you try to regulate without relief, your system's going to resist all day long, right? Like it's going to resist all day long. But when you offer relief first, regulation becomes possible. Nothing about your emotional experience means you're broken or some big project that needs to be fixed or damaged goods, right? It means you're human and responsive. So I want to kind of like set this in here, right? Like anchor it in this week. Emotional steadiness isn't something that you demand. It's something that you support. So I want you to notice this week where predictability helps you soften. Notice where little small rhythms create emotional space. Notice when recovery happens without effort. Those moments matter. Next week, we're going to build on this by talking about focus and recovery and how emotional steadiness protects both.